stopped for a moment. Whatever you were about to do, set it aside. Before the sun rose this morning, something changed in your life. I will not let this day pass without telling you. I am the Lord your God, and I stopped your steps for a reason. This message is not for everyone. It is for you alone. You did not arrive here by accident. I brought you here. You have searched, questioned, and cried where no one could hear, and I have listened to every single word. So be still now. Listen closely, because I am about to answer the questions you stopped speaking out loud long ago. I saw you. I want you to understand what I mean by that. I saw you sitting by yourself before facing the day, needing a few extra moments to put on the smile that tells everyone you are okay. I saw you quietly trying to work everything out, moving one payment after another, adding up numbers that never seem to come together no matter how many times you try. I saw you lying awake in the darkness, thinking through the same things again and again as if one more thought would somehow change the answer. I saw you smiling around other people while worry was eating away at you inside. I heard you say, "I'm fine," while something deep within you was begging to be noticed. Even so, you kept moving forward. You kept trying. You kept believing that victory was coming, even when every door seemed to close in front of you. I heard the prayers you whispered in the middle of the night that felt like they rose only to fall back around you. I also heard the prayers you never finished because you were too tired to find the words. Not one of them was forgotten. Every whisper reached me like a sweet offering. You have never been speaking into an empty room. The tiredness you have been carrying is not your true identity. The sadness that keeps trying to settle deep inside you does not belong to you. It came from outside and stayed with you so long that you began to believe it was part of who you are. Hear me clearly. That burden was never meant for you. Today I am giving it a name so you can stop blaming yourself for carrying it. You opened the scriptures looking for an answer, yet the words seemed distant and without warmth. You are not the first person who belongs to me to experience the silence. Many cried out from caves, prison floors, and lonely deserts. They also wondered if I had turned away from them. I had not left them, and I have not left you. There is a reason this message is coming to you today and not a year ago. A year ago you would have heard it as a kind thought and then moved on. And now you are tired enough to be honest and hungry enough to hold tightly to it. That honesty is not weakness. It is the open door I am about to speak about. So do not treat these words as something small, because they carry a weight you cannot yet fully understand. If you turn away now, you will pass by the very confirmation you have been asking for, the sign you have been waiting to see, and the answer you have been pleading with me to give. Stay here and let me finish what I began telling you. I know every battle you fought when no one else noticed. I know the mornings when you made yourself get up even though your heart felt too tired to keep going. There were times you were barely holding on, whispering prayers you thought were too small for heaven to notice. But none of your prayers have ever been too small. I bend down to hear the weakest ones first. My child, I also know the things you've been quietly telling yourself, that you're falling behind, that everyone else is moving ahead while you remain in the same place, that maybe nothing is working because of you. I tell you now, those thoughts did not come from me, and I have never spoken them over your life. What I say about you is completely different. I say you belong to me. I say your name is written on the palms of my hands. No delay, no debt, and no closed door has ever loosened my hold on you. I say the long silence you lived through was never my absence. I was even closer during the silence than you ever believed. You asked me if all your effort meant anything. You wondered if your patience would ever bring a harvest. Sometimes you even asked in frustration why the journey had to be so long. I rejected none of those questions. I gathered every one of them and kept the answer until this moment, when you were finally ready to receive it without being crushed by it. Something has changed within you. Brothers and sisters, YouTube has demonetized this channel. Every video is now made at our own cost with zero ad revenue. Every script, edit, and upload is done by a real team serving this ministry with their time and skills, not for a paycheck, but out of love for God and for you. Without your support, continuing this work becomes incredibly difficult. If this ministry has brought value to your life, now is your chance to invest back and help keep the Word of God reaching the world. If these messages have ever moved you or strengthened your faith, please support us on Ko-Fi. Even a small gift goes a long way. The link is pinned in the comments. If you are watching on TV, open your phone camera and scan the QR code on screen. It takes you straight to our support page. Pray over it, and if God leads you, give. Thank you. A long season is ending, and I choose to tell you myself instead of letting you slowly discover that what has been holding you back is losing its power. What stood in your way is being removed. I am not describing a feeling. I am describing a decision that has already been made before me. In the days ahead, you will remember this moment. You will remember that you almost kept going, but something made you stop. That something was me. I stopped you here because I have a word to place into your hands, and I intend to finish speaking over your life before this moment ends. So take a deep breath. Release the tight grip you've been keeping on your worries. You do not have to stay strong while I am speaking, because I am the one holding you. Let every other voice become silent. Right now, it is only you and me. I have waited a long time for your full attention. Say amen out loud if your heart knows this message is meant for you. Now let me help you understand what you have been living through, because you deserve to know. The weight of these past years was not bad luck, and it was not because you were weak. There has been a long and determined battle against your life. It worked in the darkness so you would blame yourself for the damage it caused. It put pressure on your finances. The provision meant for you arrived late. Unexpected expenses came at the worst possible times. The numbers never seemed to work, and you believed you were failing when you were actually standing strong. It also pressed against your rest. You woke up in the middle of the night, and fear was already there waiting for you. It knew your weakest moments. It kept bringing the same worries into your mind over and over until morning came. It attacked your closest relationships. It created conflict where there should have been peace. It placed distance between you and the people you love. You felt alone even when you were surrounded by others, and you believed something was wrong with you. But nothing was wrong with you. You were being separated on purpose because you are much harder to defeat when you are not alone. It also fought against your prayers. Every time you tried to come to me, a quiet voice told you it was pointless. Every time hope began to rise, another problem appeared. That was not just your imagination. You were facing something that had watched you and feared who you would become. Listen carefully and let these words remove years of false guilt from your heart. You were not lazy. You were not cursed because of your weaknesses. You were attacked because of what I placed inside you. The enemy does not gather around an empty barn. But I want you to understand something even greater. Throughout all this time, the attack could only go so far and no further. It pushed you, but it could not destroy you. It held you back, but it could not erase you. There was a line around your life that it could never cross. And I am the one who drew that line. Now listen to the message I stopped you to hear. The time allowed for the attack has ended. This place is finished. Before me, a decision has already been made about you, and no power under heaven can change it. The attack against your provision has been broken. The trap against your peace has been removed. The wall placed between you and the people you love is being torn down. I do not send messengers for someone so close to my heart. I came before you myself. I am opening what was locked. I am releasing what was held back. I am making straight the path that was twisted. And I am doing it now while my voice is still speaking to you. Say, I do. If these words are reaching your heart, you may ask, why was the attack allowed? That is a fair question, and I will not shame you for asking it. Just understand this for now. What came against you was meant to destroy you, but I turned every plan against you into part of your training. The enemy wanted to break your faith. Instead, your faith has grown deep enough that storms can no longer pull it out. Think about what you can face today that would have crushed you years ago. Think about the painful news you can hear now without falling apart. Think about how quickly you return to prayer after a setback that once would have kept you away for months. That strength was formed inside you during the same years you believed had been wasted. Nothing within you has been wasted. The one fighting against you understood something that you are only now starting to realize. You are a threat to the darkness. A person who keeps believing after years of hardship is someone ordinary problems cannot stop. That is why the pressure you faced was never ordinary. It showed your value, not your weakness. So from this day forward, reject the old explanation. When you look back on those difficult years, you will no longer say they proved that God had forgotten you. You will say that it was a siege, and now that siege is over. Words matter, my son. Speak about your past the way I speak about it, and it will no longer have the power to harm your future. Pay attention over the next few days. The heavy loads you carried for years will suddenly begin to feel lighter, and you may wonder if you're only imagining it. You are not imagining it. When a siege ends, even the atmosphere changes. Decisions that once froze you will become easier. Things you avoided for months will be finished in just one afternoon. Do not call any of this a coincidence. Coincidence did not stay with you through the darkest years. And coincidence is not leading you out now. I am. Give me what belongs to me, which is your trust, and I will continue showing you my hand until every doubt disappears. There may still be reminders of the old pressure, an unpaid bill, painful words, or a difficult morning. Those are only echoes, not the return of the siege. They are simply the sound of something already defeated becoming weaker as it leaves. Treat them that way. Do not rebuild your fear every time an echo appears, or you will stay trapped in a battle that has already ended. Instead, when trouble comes knocking, answer it with the words I have already spoken over you. Say, the permission is over. Say, my God went before me. Speak those words even if your voice shakes, because heaven does not measure how strong your voice sounds. It measures where your confidence is placed. You spent years learning how to stand under pressure. Now you will learn how to walk without it. It may take time to adjust, and I will be patient while you do. But you will, because the next season of your life will not be like the one before. I have already prepared it myself. My son, listen carefully because I am about to tell you something I have waited a long time to say. You finally arrived. You reached the place where I always knew you would be. You passed through storms that were meant to destroy you, yet you refused to quit. Even when everything around you shouted that giving up made the most sense, you kept going. You stayed when others walked away. You continued moving after your strength was gone, carried only by stubborn hope. You stood inside the fire, and even though it hurt you, you came out holding something the flames could never destroy. This moment did not happen by chance. It is the result of your perseverance. And I, your God, am proud of you. You believed I was punishing you, but I was not. Every hardship was shaping something inside you that an easy life could never create. Every door that stayed closed was my hand protecting you from dangers you could not see. I was never working against you. I have always been for you, even during the days when you hated the path I asked you to walk. I watched you fight quiet battles that no one else ever noticed. You thought no one cared. I cared. You thought no one was hearing you. I was listening. When you felt completely alone, my presence was with you in that room, whether you sensed it or not. And now, before I tell you what comes next, I have something I want you to do, and I ask you to receive it with an open heart. My son, I am asking you to place a part of what truly matters to you on the altar of this work, like gold placed on the scale of this calling. Let it become a seed dropped into deep water, an offering laid upon the rock, not held back because of fear. This will show that your trust is in my ability to provide and that your heart no longer holds tightly to fear. What you release in faith does not leave your life behind. It goes ahead of you for the harvest I am preparing. Now let me take you back through the road you have traveled, so you can see that I have been with you at every step. You carried pain you never chose to carry. You felt the hurt of betrayal from people you trusted with your whole heart. During those moments, you wondered if I had left you. I never left you. I stood as your protection in the darkness, even when you believed heaven had gone silent. The people who walked away did not leave by accident. Some of them had to leave because their place in your future would have damaged what I am preparing for you. You could not understand that back then. You only saw the empty seat and the message that never came. But I could see 10 years ahead, and I loved you too much to leave certain doors open. I know the pain their leaving caused. I saw you question your value because of it. I saw you blame yourself for endings that were never your fault. Listen to me now. Their leaving was never a judgment about your worth. Sometimes I remove people the same way a builder removes the scaffolding, because the real building is finally strong enough to stand. And those doors that stayed closed, the chances that slipped away at the last moment, the plans that fell apart after all your hard work. You asked me why everyone else seemed to move ahead while you remained in the same place. My son, those refusals were not rejection. If I had opened some of those doors when you begged me to, what was waiting behind them would have brought you pain instead of blessing. Here is a right time for everything to be released, and I do not explain it beforehand because trust that demands every answer before believing is not true trust. But I will tell you this. None of those delays happened by accident. Every one of them was carefully measured. Every one of them had a purpose that you will clearly understand one day. And when that day comes, you will thank me for every door I chose not to open. You also struggled with doubt, and I want to speak to that now. You asked me, God, are you really there? Do you still hear me? Have you forgotten me? I never judged you for asking those questions. I saw the burden you carried when you spoke them, and I was closer to you in those moments than you ever knew. Questions asked in the darkness are still a way of reaching for me. A person who has truly given up no longer asks anything. But you kept asking. That means the connection between us never broke, no matter how weak it seemed. I held my side of that connection through it all, and I am still holding it today. Do you remember those nights when you sat in silence and whispered words you believed no one could hear? I heard every one of them. You thought you were speaking into emptiness, but your whispers reached my throne before they even left your lips. Even when you said nothing at all, when you simply sat because there were no words left, I still knew what your heart was asking. I answered some of those silent prayers years ago in ways you still have not recognized. So let this settle deep inside you. You were never unseen. You were never forgotten. You never stopped being love. Everything you went through brought you to this very moment. And this moment is not the end of your story. It is the turning point your story has been leading toward. I am not honoring you today because you were perfect. You were not, and I never expected perfection from you. I honor you because you stayed. When leaving would have been easier, you remained. When hopelessness gave you every reason to quit, you went to sleep, woke up, and tried once again. Heaven never overlooks that kind of courage, and neither did I. Before we move forward, there is one more burden I want to remove from you. It is the shame you have carried in silence. That quiet thought saying, maybe I am the reason nothing works. Maybe I am the failure. Today I tell you with all the authority of heaven that you are not a failure. You are a fighter who was given a heavier burden than most people, and you carried it farther than many ever could. Where you saw weakness, I saw someone who kept standing. Where you believed you were falling apart, I saw someone holding life together under pressure that would have crushed others. Where you believed you had been forgotten, I saw a servant I was protecting for the right time. For too long you have told your own story using the enemy's words. Today I am giving you my version. You remember the times you smiled in front of everyone, then returned home and broke down with a heart full of questions you could not explain. I was with you in that room when you rested your head and whispered, "God, just give me one reason to keep going." I became that reason every morning you opened your eyes after nights you believed you would never survive. That was my hand lifting you up. Now listen carefully, because I am speaking something new over your life. The season of waiting that you carried for so long has ended. The long season of not yet and maybe later is over. I declare that with complete authority. The chapter has closed. You have crossed through it. I am the one who opens doors that no person can shut. And today I tell you that I have opened such a door for you. It was not made by human hands, and no power on earth can close it. This is not luck, and it is not coincidence. I placed that door into your story long ago, and now I am opening it before you, inviting you to walk through it. For every door that was closed in your face, for every opportunity delayed or taken away, I now place before you an entrance that cannot be removed. You do not need to force it open. You do not need to beg for it. It is already unlocked. Your part is simply to rise and walk through it with confidence. And hear this carefully, because it matters more than you realize. This time your victory will not stay hidden. For years your victories were quiet, known only between you and me. Now I will make your season visible. Those who doubted you will see it. Those who questioned your faith will see it. Those who decided you would never rise will become witnesses to what my hand has done in your life. Do you remember asking yourself, when will my turn come? My son, this is your turn. This is your moment. The door I have opened for you is neither small nor weak. What comes through this door will not be a short season of relief that fades away with time. It is a lasting change that will shape the direction of your life. I am restoring the years that seemed taken from you. I am rebuilding what was broken until almost nothing remains of the damage. I am doing it in such a way that when it happens, no honest person will be able to explain it without looking at me. That is my purpose. Your life is about to become living proof that I always keep my word. You planted through tears, season after season, without seeing any harvest. Now you will gather with joy. You endured the silence. Now you will hear celebration where there was once weeping. You stood in faith when there was no evidence before you. Now I will place proof in front of you until your hands rise in gratitude on their own. What I do in this season will also silence the old lies. Every voice that claimed you were forgotten will be answered, not by your words, but by the clear evidence of my faithfulness resting on your life. You will not need to defend yourself. Your circumstances will speak, and they will speak clearly. So step forward, Do not stop at the doorway. Do not let fear catch you at the last moment and whisper that this is too good to be true or only meant for someone else. You were strengthened for this very door. You are not too late, and you are not unworthy. This is not a trick, and it is not a test. This is my promise being fulfilled. I know that after so many disappointments, even hope can feel frightening. You trained yourself to expect very little so life would not hurt you again. That habit may have protected you before, but it cannot lead you through this door. Instead, you will need the courage to believe good things are possible again. I will teach you that gently, one fulfilled promise at a time. Begin with something simple. Trust me with one need this week and refuse to take it back. When I answer, remember it. Let that answer become a stone of remembrance and build your faith on it. This is how a heart that learned only to protect itself begins to rise and stand again. And when you walk through this door, do not keep looking behind you, as though the old season could return and claim you again. It cannot. A finished chapter has no power over a new one. I placed the ending there myself, and what I finish stays finished. Do not wait until you feel worthy before you start walking. Worthiness was never the price of entry. I opened this door because of who I am and because of what I decided for you. Your feelings will catch up with the truth in time. Until then, let the truth lead and let your feelings follow. Lift up your head, my son, and stand tall. You have spent too many years walking with your eyes lowered, expecting the next blow. The steps ahead will be different because even the ground beneath you has changed. You are no longer walking toward the promise. You are already walking inside it. Now let me show you what I am placing into your hands, so you will recognize every blessing the moment it arrives and know exactly where it came from. These are not small gifts or temporary acts of kindness. They are lasting blessings, and I have prepared 5 of them with your name on each one. First, I give you peace. Not the weak peace the world offers, the kind that disappears with the first piece of bad news. I give you my peace, the kind that stands guard over your mind like a soldier watching a gate. You used to lie awake worrying about tomorrow. And now when your head rests on the pillow, my peace will meet you there, and rest will no longer be a struggle. Where confusion once ruled, clear direction will lead you. Where fear kept whispering, courage will answer. This peace does not wait until your circumstances become better. It arrives before they change, and that is how you will know it comes from me. The world's peace follows good news. My peace comes before it. Second, I bring provision. The days of counting what you have and feeling it is never enough are almost over. I fed my people with bread from heaven in a desert where nothing could grow. I took a few loaves of bread and a small number of fish and fed thousands, with baskets left over. I have not changed. What you hold in your hands may seem too small to you, but place it in my hands and watch what I do with it. Do not live in fear of not having enough anymore. Fear of lack is a habit left behind from the years of siege. And the siege has ended. I will provide everything you need, and even more than that, I will surprise you. What you need will come from places you never expected, through people you never imagined, at moments so perfectly timed that you will smile because of the timing itself. That smile will become worship, and I will gladly receive it. Third, restoration. Whatever was lost, torn apart, or broken while you were too exhausted to protect it, I am restoring. Joy will return to the places where sorrow once lived. Relationships that have been hurt will be healed, and some of them so completely that the very wound will become a place of unexpected strength. Nothing is too broken for me to rebuild. Nothing is too far gone for me to bring back. Even the years themselves I will restore. You have grieved over the time you believed was wasted, the seasons that seemed to produce nothing, But I never waste anything, not even the dry seasons. A field lying still is not a dead field. It is gathering strength for a harvest that land worked without rest could never produce. You are about to harvest the years you thought were lost. Fourth, healing for your body that grew tired from carrying pressure it was never meant to hold. Healing for your mind that became exhausted from running through the same anxious thoughts. Healing for your heart that still feels pain in places you never let anyone see. I am the one who heals the brokenhearted, and I am caring for you myself, not handing this work to anyone else. Where sickness drained your strength, fresh life is coming. Where pain pushed you down, I am lifting you up. You will first notice it in small ways. A morning without the usual fear, a memory that no longer carries the same pain, a breath that feels lighter. Do not ignore these small acts of mercy. They are the first drops before the rain. Whiff of joy. True joy. Not the shallow kind that disappears when problems return. This joy is rooted in my unchanging love. Because of that, it will remain through every season. You will laugh again without looking behind you. You will catch yourself singing at unexpected moments and wonder where the song came from. It came from me. They always belong to you. It is simply returning home. Speak these words, I receive this. If your hands are open today, understand this, my son, because this outpouring is beginning now. Your perseverance has brought you to this place. Many people quit halfway through the journey. You did not. Many turned back when the road became dark. You kept moving because you remained faithful, because you endured, because you kept standing back up. You are standing exactly where the rain is ready to fall. The miracle you believed was delayed was never stopped. It was like a seed hidden beneath the ground the whole time. While you could only see empty soil, the roots were growing deep, and a strong foundation was being formed in secret. What you asked for in prayer when no one could see is now breaking through the surface, and what grows after roots like these are formed does not fade away easily. These 5 gifts are not meant for just one moment. They are the beginning of a new chapter, not a short celebration, before your old life returns. You will walk in peace every day. You will live with provision instead of the old fear of lack. You will carry restoration and healing that others will notice when they are near you. You will overflow with joy that cannot be explained by your circumstances. This overflow has a purpose beyond your own life. Others will see the change and ask, how did you make it through? How are you still standing? What happened to you? And you will point to me. Your life will become a doorway through which tired people find hope again. I am blessing you in a way that overflows because this is how my kingdom works on the earth. You will bring peace to the troubled, courage to those ready to quit, and living proof to those who suffer that I still heal, still restore, and still lift up those who refuse to let go of me. That is one reason you were allowed to walk such a difficult road. No one learns to carry water to others in a land where water has never been scarce. So lift up your hands and receive all 5 gifts without feeling guilty. You do not need to earn them now. The waiting season was the planting, and this is the harvest. I, Yahweh your God, am faithful and I keep every promise I make. This is your season of blessing. Receive it from my hand. Now that I have opened the door and spoken about the blessings, I must also prepare you, because every new season brings both promises and risks. What I am placing into your hands is valuable, and valuable things must be protected. I say this not to frighten you, but because a shepherd who sees the wolf and stays silent truly loves no one. First, guard yourself against pride. When the change in your life becomes clear, when people begin to notice and ask questions, a quiet voice will try to convince you that you accomplished it all by yourself. Your effort, your wisdom, your endurance. There is enough truth in, that thought to make it dangerous. Yes, you worked hard, but it was my strength that held you together when your own strength was gone, and it was my open hand that no amount of effort could force open. Remember the source, and the blessing will stay sweet. Forget the source, and that same blessing will become heavy and empty in your hands. Stay humble in your own eyes, and I will continue lifting you higher. This is not a warning meant to scare you. It is simply the safe way to carry greater weight. The deeper the roots grow, the taller the tree can stand without falling. Then be careful with fear. Once I bless you, fear changes its message. It no longer says, "It will never happen." Instead, it whispers, "It will never last." What if it is taken away? What if you lose it? Fear always attacks the newest gift I have given because new things have not yet grown strong enough to defend themselves. But I did not give you a spirit of fear.